With the help of the half-demon malady, the Godwoken escaped through the veil that separates life from death.
The air here has a familiar smell, like the place you grew up. Old memories begin to well within you, but the sweet sour smell of decay suddenly punctures them. A faint creaking sounds in the distance.
Is that a tree? What's hanging from it? Must be a way across. Relic? The gods. Are they dead? How can the...
Amadia hangs before you, her face cut and bruised, her chest barely moving. You think you see a tear run down her cheek. You lean in. That's no tear. It's source. The shimmering liquid is seeping from her wounds and dripping to the ground below her. Ralik hangs limp from the tree, cursed branches constricting him, snake-like from foot to shoulders. His helmeted head hangs slack at his side, but a barely audible wheeze rasps from his lips.
Ifan, hurry!
Ever-tightening cursed branches constrict the great dwarven god Duna. His eyelids flutter, and his face, bluish and bloated, nods. Before you hangs a great ethereal orc, his face twisted in a knot of pain as cursed tendrils constrict him. A small, stout imp winces under the countless cursed threads that bind her. Tight coils wrap Tyr Sendelius from head to foot. His still face is set to a glowering sneer. Cursed tendrils tighten around Zorstissa. Her lips are moving, but no words seem able to escape her lips. As the cursed branches slither away from Ralik, he raises his head. Green eyes glint with sudden fire from behind his helmet.
Are we the first? The others, do they hang still upon the tree?
He strains at the ethereal ropes that bind him, resisting their grip.
You must make haste! I am bound, but not defeated. Not yet. This is not the work of fate. It is the work of the void. It will come for our people. It will destroy us all. You are my chosen. Now you must become the champion of our kind. The champion of humanity. I have survived our enemies. You must do more than that. You are like me, proud, headstrong. But believe me, there is a great deal more you must learn yet. You have already unleashed some of the powers locked within you. But there is a great well of possibilities still untapped. You cannot stop until you ascend to the highest heights of your power. You cannot stop until you become divine. Like Lucian, you will be called to unite the powers of the Seven against the void. Like Lucian, you will lead our proud people to preeminence. But unlike Lucian, your weakness will not lead you to foolish failure.
He opens his mouth to respond, but stops and tilts his head, listening for something you cannot detect.
I hear the void. I hear it calling. I hear it laughing. It's coming! It's here! If it finds you here, if it finds you!
Ralik's face twists in fear. He opens his mouth as if to scream, but no sound comes out. White-hot cold pierces your heart like a blade. You are frozen to the spot. The burning cold pumps through you like a curse, and then... the same troubled look is visible on each face. You've seen the gods beaten and defiled, strung up as a warning.
The gods are dead. Long live the God-woken. If the Seven should indeed come to nothing, I'll be ready to take their place.
I had dreams of what I should say if I saw the Seven Lords once more. But that was a nightmare.
Gods, schmods. They aren't interested in me, and I'm not interested in them. It seems whatever's inside me is more powerful than any of them anyway. Or at least more cunning.
Malady got me here. Maybe she can get me out. Where is everybody? Not a soul down here. Just stillness.
Not right now. Come back later.
Sabile's spirit watches your approach like a spectator on a beach watches the waves roll in with a soothing inevitability.
Where have you been? I can't keep this up much longer. We need to go. Brace yourself. This might hurt a lot.
The chill of the Hall of Echoes clung to the Lady Vengeance as it returned to the shores of Reaper's Coast. The God-woken were alive, but what of the gods?
Solid ground materializes beneath your feet. Your weight falls back into your body all at once, and bright sunlight stings your eyes. As your eyes adjust, you realize you're still aboard the Lady Vengeance. A gust of fresh sea air caresses you, and warm sunshine prickles your skin.
Oh, one moment, please. Oh, just a moment.
Malady explodes in a fit of retching that racks her body. At last, she sneezes and expels a glob of something shiny and silver onto the deck. It wriggles quickly off the siding and plummets into the sea with a splash.
Ah, better. Let's not do that again anytime soon. Well, we needed to escape, didn't we? So I took us the one place I was quite certain Dallas couldn't follow. I suppose you recognized the Hall of Echoes from those visions you'd had before. Realm of the dead, realm of divinity. I do hope you learned something useful on our little field trip. Desperate how? I see. So, your god seemed uncharacteristically frightened, told you the void was coming, and that only you could ascend to divinity, after which you felt a cold deep within you. Well then, it sounds like you need to ascend, doesn't it? And quickly.
She inspects her fingernails with great attention, then looks up at you from under an arched eyebrow.
Did they mention how you were meant to become the next divine? Well, luckily for you, Mama Malady is here to help. We already know you can bless, but as far as I know, you can neither see source nor take it as you see fit. I may not know much about divinity, but I do know that any godwoken worth their salt will know how to perform all these oh-so-fantastic feats. You need to go see the Meister. As have I, but not in the ways a true godwoken can. Forget those ghastly little jars and wands to which small people must resort. You ought to be able to see and speak to the spirits that wander our realm, and you ought to be able to extract the source they leave behind, too. All this just by your little old onesie. No devices, no gimmicks. When you're done, you'll be able to amass and unleash quantities of source so great that Lucian himself would blush. I quite look forward to seeing it. Oh, she's got one of those things in Driftwood, you know, the building where people go and they do things inside of it. A home, that's it. She's got a home in Driftwood. Give me your map. There you are. Tell her I sent you and she'll handle the rest. You're at the beginning of a long journey, Godwoken. Long, but exceedingly interesting. Now, I must be going, and so must you. Why, our faithful little sloop, of course. We can all ride together. Won't that be terribly fun? Shopping. Before you go, if I'm not back by the time you find out where our journey takes us next, you can call me back here. Tell the ship. She'll know how to summon me. And in the unlikely case you don't manage to do whatever it is you'll need to do to become what you need to become, you could call me. But I would be grateful if it doesn't come to that.
Hey, before we dash off into the wild world yonder, I should mention, Malady and I had a talk on the way here. Oh, you know, this and that. And she mentioned that the thing in my head is probably a demon. Told me there's a fella not so far from where we're headed who might be able to help me with it too. I know, it's great, exciting, terrifying. A heady mixture of all three that makes my stomach feel like it's in a vice. We better get a move on. You've got your business to handle, and now I've got mine.
It's rather impressive that a place named Reaper's Coast is even less cheerful than it sounds. Then again, I suppose desolate, boring, and covered in fish heads coast doesn't quite roll off the tongue. Still, here we are. I trust I needn't remind you about our agreement. Yes. I feared you may have been thinking about cheese or murder or some other organic hobby. Listen closely. It is vitally important that I gain access to the Magister's cave excavation in the nearby Black Pits. Since my emancipation, I have sought clues of what happened to my people. In those caves, I may find answers. There are reports Magisters have been hauling mysterious ancient artifacts from the ground. I suspect it to be an eternal site. And if even the clucking roosters of the Divine Order can find eternal artifacts, imagine what else must lie there. Well, I would hardly have to break in if I knew that, would I? There may be tablets detailing the history I've missed. Useful relics or ruins showing signs of destruction. Just any hint to help me make sense of it all. In a sense, the lady, or the goddess, Armadia, as you know her, told me the Eternals were wiped out in a war with our king. But wars leave scars, ruins, weapons, bodies. A story writ large across the landscape. I have not read that story. And until I have seen it for myself, I still hold out hope. But of course, please, carry on, O dedicated leader.
Oh, you catch me during a meditative moment. Gods, voids, a perilous journey through the Hall of Echoes. One wonders whether one is awake or dreaming. In that case, it's high time we return to the order of the day, which in my case is still the domain of dreams, of course. Bramos the Wanderer told me to meet him in Driftwood. So, to Driftwood we must go. I can only hope it will be a town of opulence and plenitude, despite its rather discouraging name.
I've plenty of fighters for hire. Experts in blades, bows, and bewitchment. Oh, I see you have a full contingent already. Then I'll leave you be.
Hello again. That's twice now you've saved my skin, and I think it's time to start repaying the favours. I could fetch some stuff you need, maybe. Ma always said I was a great runner. Sure thing. I'll start hunting that down right away. Don't wait up.
Hail, friend, and remember, in Lucian's love there can be no wrong. You are either naive or ignorant, Godwoken. Lucian overcame the demon of lies to become our savior, our father of truth. Malice was not in his nature.
Gareth relaxes. Inhale, exhale. His voice dims.
It's only human to question, but you must also find your way back. Not just for you, but for everyone that relies on you. In those moments of doubt, I remember not what Lucian said, but what he did. When the Black Ring rose up, he stood for the defenseless, for all of us. For my mother, my father.
Gareth's nostalgia lasts for just a moment longer. He composes himself, clears his throat, and waits for your next question.
Paradise awaits, my friend. Not an actual paradise, of course. I don't think there's such a place in all of Rivellon. Paradise Downs. My parents still sow the soil there. And if the Order hadn't called me to its ranks, I'd still call their farm my home. I miss it. I miss them. They've been forever understanding of my duty. But I admit, I've been neglectful. I have some wrongs to right.
I expect Malady has an answer to that. It seems she's got it all in hand.
All seasoned in combat. They won't let you down.
I hadn't realized I was in such illustrious company when we met before. Most fascinating, the things I've been hearing about you. That you're, how did Malady put it again? A God-woken. Yes, that's it. Quite remarkable if it's true.
Tarquin pauses, taking you in. Genial smile and calculating eyes.
We may not have always seen perfectly eye to eye, but that would be the makings of a truly dull relationship anyway, don't you think? A wise attitude. Most wise. I'm sure we can build something magnificent on these foundations. Why, it was your ally, Malady, who spared me. She claimed that I might be of some use yet. Rather flattering to enjoy the favor of such a powerful being. You honor me with your repeat.
this again. Junk.
The angelic figure stands upon a mosaic that depicts a dragon, or a leviathan. You feel weightless, as if lifted by a silent wind. For just a moment, your mind is free of wonder and worry.